Have you ever felt like you might have started something the wrong way? Have you ever felt that you might not quite be in the right place? That you're not where you're supposed to be? You're supposed to be somewhere else. I felt like that a lot of times in my life, that I was going the wrong direction, the wrong path, the wrong way. Let me take you back to when I was 16. I actually didn't know what path I wanted back then. Kind of wanted to become a doctor. I loved the idea of helping people. I also kind of wanted to become a physicist. I loved technology. The thing is, I also really hated chemistry as a subject, and that kind of ruled out medicine. And physics was great, but it didn't give me that real world application side of things that I really craved. So I thought, I'm going to develop medical devices. I'm going to develop the next artificial heart, the next great breakthrough medtech device that's going to revolutionize people's lives. So at 17 years old, I applied for a degree in biochemical engineering. I was not a smart 17-year-old because chemistry was a big part of the degree, and it actually had nothing to do with medtech. That was my first route down the wrong way. But it's okay. I went through my degree and I decided that I would do an internship. The internship lasted a few weeks, and then afterwards, I got a job in quality control. Then I finished my degree and I decided, time to go back to the right way. I went to a top 3 university and I did a master's degree in what I really wanted to do to put me on that path for medtech, that I could go back and help people and make an impact like I wanted to do. I was finally back the right way. And not only that, but while I was in university, I was attending every entrepreneurship class I could so that I could spin out and have that brilliant medical device company from my master's degree. But that didn't happen. I was scared. I didn't quite understand it. I didn't quite get it. I never really understood the purpose. And I ended up at the end of my degree not having a job and not having that company I wanted. So I went, like a lot of people for their degree that felt a little lost, into consultancy. I was so happy. I get to make PowerPoints for a living and get paid lots of money for it. Actually, I was still unfulfilled. I decided that I need to go and travel, explore the world a little, and then see what life will take for me. I decided that I was going to apply for a traineeship with the health service. It was in medical physics, or nuclear medicine to be specific, and I loved it. I got to use science, physics, technology to really help people. I learned so much about how to diagnose and treat and use radiation for good. There was one slight problem. As you may know, the health service is not well known for being well paid. And I kind of felt like I wanted a bit more progression. So okay, I want more respect and I want better pay. Where shall I go? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I went to academia. Yeah, so I applied to Cranfield University to do a 1-year Masters by Research and follow-on PhD program in ultra-precision engineering. Now, by this point, you're probably listening to me thinking, hang on a second. You started in biochemical engineering. That's like making beer. Then you went to biomaterials, which is all this medtech. You did quality control. You did medical physics. And now you're doing ultra-precision engineering. And I know, that's what I said to my interviewers. Don't worry, I'm up for this challenge. And I was. But gosh, was it a challenge. I did my master's degree. I really enjoyed it. But I came to another crossroads. Do I carry on the PhD in this new subject? Or do I go out into the workforce? And a lecturer gave me some advice and said, listen, you've had a lot of twists and turns in your life. You've done a lot of things. And employers don't like that. They like it when you do 1 bachelor's, 1 master's, 1 PhD. If you leave now, You could risk it all. You could be going the wrong way. But then, coincidentally, I didn't feel like an academic. I felt like maybe the PhD was the wrong way. But I went for the PhD route. And the reason I did is because I love travel. And the PhD gives you so much freedom to travel. And knowing that, in October 2019, I had set forward for a good few years of traveling and research. So 2020 came around and COVID kind of ruined those travel plans. A lot of things happened in my life that were not brilliant, as did everyone else. And my PhD also took a turn. I couldn't always be in the lab. Equipment was not accessible to me anymore, where it once was. And even within the PhD, things just weren't going right. I had to change the direction of my PhD. In fact, what I wrote my thesis on is completely different to what I initially wrote my literature review on. I was getting so frustrated over COVID because my PhD wasn't going the way I wanted to. It was going the wrong way. But it's fine. I did other things. Actually, I did a lot of other things. So, I volunteered. I volunteered at COVID test sites. I learned to become an EMT on the side. I learned to teach pet first aid. I vaccinated. I took up roller derby. I even managed a COVID test center. I taught in Uganda. I did sustainable development work. And eventually, I even hosted the first TEDxCranfield University. But my PhD life was still with so many challenges. And I just decided that it was time to leave, to go out the door and to say goodbye to everything. But I'm stubborn. I was like, no. 16-year-old me wanted to become a doctor. I'm going to become a doctor. So I carried on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop all the chaos. I'm just going to take one job. I'm going to bartend in the university, in the student union, and that's what I'm going to do. Although sometimes, for my own good, I do say things perhaps I shouldn't. And I perhaps complained myself into a job because I went up to my boss and I said, hey, you could improve the social media here. We could do so many more events. Come on, let me have a try. I'll do it for free. And they let me. I ran some events, I did some social media, and my boss said, okay, here's a job. I want you to do this 18 hours a week alongside your PhD. I want you to be our first student engagement coordinator. I laughed. You're going to pay me to do something I offered to do for you for free? Okay, sure, let's go. I did it, and I loved it. I really felt part of a community. The student union was my third space, my home away from home, my place to build community. I wasn't enjoying my student life because I was so bogged down with the research and how every little thing didn't go perfectly, that I had an opportunity to think less about myself and how it wasn't going right for me, and thinking more about how can I make the lives of my fellow students better. I got to be creative. I got to try so many things. I got to talk to so many new people. There was me in my first week, welcoming students. I've probably met some of you in this room, maybe some of you here on YouTube. And I just had so much fun in that job, but nevertheless, the PhD was ticking along the way. I started to think, okay, my PhD is starting to draw to a close. It will eventually be over. Let's start applying for jobs. I applied for a few, not too many, to be honest with you, but I just wasn't getting anywhere. And I started to feel a little low. I was starting to feel like maybe I had really just been going the wrong way. Other PhD students, they're not doing social media campaigns. They're not talking to all the departments of the university, not trying to chat to students to make events. They're doing extra research on the side. They're doing more academic papers than I was doing. They're focused. They're so full in their research. They're not doing extracurriculars. They're not bouncing around their careers. I had ruined everything for myself. I was going the wrong way too many times. But then something strange happened. I got a job. Actually, it was in commercial engineering. It turns out that having people skills, being able to talk to people, being able to organize, to have events, that was really useful in commercial engineering. And so I did that for a bit alongside my PhD. Damn, maybe I wasn't always going the wrong way. Then something even more amazing surprised me. I got offered a highly technical job. Because let's not forget, I do have a PhD. I took this technical role, and I loved it. And not only did I love it, I was good at it. I thrived in it. And it wasn't just my technical expertise that made me good at the job. It was everything else that I had done in my life. All of those times that I changed my career, I had learned something that I could bring into my role. There were so many skills in project management and organization, people skills. People don't realize that engineering is not just sitting down and writing numbers. There is some of that, I'll tell you. But a lot of it is working with others and working with a team, getting projects organized, getting things done. And I knew how to get things done. I had done a lot of things. I really love where I am now. And it was all thanks to just not giving up, to just keep going on and not being afraid to take the wrong way. Now listen, I've had a lot of privilege in my life, maybe a lot of luck, who knows? It's not going to work for everyone, and I want that to be clear. However, I've met a lot of people who have told me similar things, who have gone through similar experiences, that they've gone down the wrong way. Or they want to change it up. They want to try something new, and that new experience is the wrong way. Or that might be the wrong way. And it makes me kind of sad to see people holding themselves back. I mean, come on. What if you want to do a TED Talk with your back to the audience? Do you really mind? Let's explore these two problems. First things first, I hear quite a lot in my industry. I've been here for so long. I've been here for 40, 50 years. It's too late for me to change. I want to change, but I went down the wrong way for too long. But they are ignoring everything that wrong way has taught them, everything that wrong way can take them. And to be honest, sometimes you can't see what the wrong way has given you until you're in the right way. I didn't know that all of these crazy, chaotic paths that I had in my life were going to help me in my current job or my previous job. I didn't realize until I got to the position that I am that where I came from was the benefit of it. So I just really wanted to have that opportunity to let people know that sometimes you need to give that change to see what you can bring to the table. The other option, the other consideration that a lot of people will say is that, okay, I think I'm on the right way, but I want to do this. What if that's the wrong way? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But you can't know until you try. And the only time when it's too late is 1 second ago. Or 2 seconds from now, perhaps. Sorry, I went the wrong way. Sorry. The only wrong way is 5 minutes from now. Go make that change. Most of the time you can go back. Okay, this is one person's story. And like I said, it doesn't apply to everyone. But I want to leave you all with this. If you had the chance, would you try the wrong way? Thank you very much.